Alrighty, YouTube, good afternoon to y'all here. We've got a major winter storm on tap here across the Midwest, Ohio Valley, and the Northeast as we head towards today, Saturday, and Sunday. And then another system coming out of the Gulf, bringing cold air out of Canada, mixing in with that moisture. We're going to have the potential for some significant ice across the Mid-Atlantic. We're going to have the threat for, once again, snowfall across Kentucky, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, and then up into the Northeast. And we could, once again, be looking at a continuation of very, very cold Arctic air spilling out of Canada really for the next week to two, maybe even longer than that, depending on some trends. But it looks to be if you like cold and snow, it's going to settle in here. If you're down in the southeast, going to continue to stay right at average, a little to above average with some rain chances coming in. But if you're in the Ohio Valley, the northeast, the Midwest here, the Central Plains and the High Plains, it's definitely going to be a very, very rough next couple of days. So we're going to go ahead and talk about that here. We've also got a little chance of some severe weather tomorrow down towards southeast Texas with an all hazards event. Very low end threat, but we're going to talk about that as well. But other than that, November 28th, 2025 here. Let's dive into those. Alrighty, and going ahead and getting our severe weather out of the way first for today. We do have no severe weather today, nothing expected here for Friday. But tomorrow, here's the day two, Alec. We do have a marginal risk of severe weather tomorrow for eastern and south central Texas, western Louisiana, southwestern Arkansas, and a little sliver here of southern Oklahoma. This is going to be a very low end threat for all hazards of severe weather, hail, damaging winds, and an isolated tornado can't be ruled out. And that tornado threat's really going to be more confined once again towards the Houston metro area, down towards Lufkin area where we saw those tornadoes last week at. Kind of a little bit more of a conditional threat as we head towards tomorrow, but an all hazards event definitely need to be weather alert and preparing here. We also have a general thunderstorm risk as well for portions of Missouri, Illinois, and up here where our warm front is going to kind of hang out and our snow system is going to be moving into the north here. So if you're in Missouri, it's going to kind of be weird. You're going to probably wake up with some snowfall and then it's going to change to potentially some rain. If you're in Kentucky, southern Illinois, you're going to wake up tomorrow. It's going to be snowing and then it's going to change to rain. So lots of things that we've got to watch here over the next 24 to 72 hours before we get ready for another system as we head towards next week. But our severe weather hazard outlook, once again, level 1 risk out of 5, not anything too crazy. Just be alert tomorrow. We'll be on standby for weather coverage if need be. Tornado risk tomorrow, Lufkin down towards the Houston metro area here. You're going to want to be weather aware as well. 2% tornado risk. Very isolated threat there. Wind threat at 5% for winds up to 60. And that hail threat at 5% for winds and hail, or for not for winds, but for hail up to 1 to 2 inches. And going ahead and taking a look here at our composite reflectivity for tomorrow afternoon. Today you're going to be pretty quiet with some clouds you'll notice across eastern and northern Texas and Oklahoma as rain showers start to build with that storm system coming in tonight. As I mentioned, like I said, mostly going to be looking at some rain across Arkansas, southern Missouri, across southern Illinois, western Kentucky as we go through early tonight into tomorrow, or late tonight into early tomorrow morning. And then tomorrow, as that wintry system moves to the north here, we are going to have a little corridor of severe weather down here with a cold front down to the far south. And this is going to allow for some moisture to be lifted to the north, a little bit of instability, a little bit of shear. And we're actually going to have a kind of a linear line of thunderstorms that's going to work its way down out of the southeast around 5 to 6 o'clock tomorrow afternoon central time. So it'll start just south of the DFW area and then move its way down southeast. Can't rule out a shower or two here, but that mostly will start out as a wind and a hail threat. But as these storms shift southeast, we will have the chance right along or in front of this cold front here for a couple little cells to pop up for an isolated tornado threat. And like I said, this looks really messy with convection. I don't think tomorrow's going to be anything too crazy, but just be alert. This will be forming, or these thunderstorms will be ongoing around late tomorrow evening. So we're talking between about 9 p.m. Central Time, probably to about 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. And then this will go through the overnight hours early Sunday morning. And then eventually this system will be moving its way off the coast of Texas and then moving through Louisiana as just general thunderstorms and heavy rain. So just be alert tomorrow. Nothing too crazy to worry about. Well, like I said, we'll be on standby for live stream if we need to be in terms of. Now, going ahead and taking a look at our wintry side of things for the Midwest, the Ohio Valley here. We've got a pretty big winter storm here that's going to be coming through starting tonight, going through Saturday, going into Sunday, and then another system, like I mentioned earlier, going to be coming through out of the south, heading towards Kentucky in the eastern half of the Ohio Valley into Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And we'll talk about that system here in just a minute. But I'm going to give you guys a timeline here of what's going to be happening. Snow showers are going to be starting out here pretty soon across eastern Nebraska, eastern South Dakota here, and then eventually into Minnesota and Iowa as we get closer to dinner time tonight. We could see some very, very heavy snow bands setting up here of 1 to 2 inches an hour, maybe even some higher pockets of 2 to 3 inches an hour. Notice down here where our temperatures are above 32 degrees, we're going to have this sleet, a little bit of ice, rain mix down here towards the Kansas, Nebraska, Missouri line. So just be paying attention to that there. It can get slippery out there for sure. So safe travels to anybody that is having to go home. But this looks to mostly be an all snow event for all of Iowa, most of Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Illinois by early tonight or late tonight into early tomorrow morning. Snow is falling across eastern Missouri, St. Louis, Illinois, Iowa here. And then by tomorrow morning, we're waking up to a little bit of a rain, wintry mix transition back here across St. Louis down towards central Missouri. So there's only a couple portions of northern and eastern Missouri that are going to get some snow before changing back to a wintry sleet mix and rain tomorrow as temperatures warm up throughout the day tomorrow. But most of Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, Michigan, Wisconsin, Iowa here at Minnesota is going to mostly be an all snow event on this go around. And then eventually the system will shift east. We'll see some rain rain potentially come in behind this as a warm front lifts a little bit further to the north across portions of Illinois and Indiana. So you may see a little bit of melting in between Saturday night into early Sunday morning, and then eventually the system shifts its way into the east, northeast, and we'll talk about what that looks like here in just a moment. Alrighty, and taking a look here at our 10-to-1 snowfall ratios. This is the HHR's latest model run here across the Ohio Valley and the Midwest for our higher snowfall potential between now and the next really 72 hours. Looks like we're going to have a widespread 6 to at least 10 inches of snowfall for anybody here that's purple here. That includes southern Wisconsin, northern and central Illinois, northern Indiana, northwestern Ohio, southwestern and central Michigan here, and pretty much all of Iowa here. Going to see some impactful snow. So that light purple to darker purple there, about 6 to 10 inches of snow. And then right in here where we see central, southern Iowa, and northwestern and western Illinois. This is where I think we will see anywhere from 18, maybe even up to 20 inches of snow on the higher side of things. If we have some model blends that are showing some higher totals. So that's why I've kind of put that 20-inch ratio in there just to kind of be mindful of that. But this is all going to be a heavy, wet snow. It's going to fall pretty quickly. It's going to accumulate pretty quickly. So if you have travel plans tonight, get somewhere safe, because tomorrow this is going to look completely different. This whole entire area is going to look like a winter wonderland as we literally get ready to enter into December. Sadly, if you're down towards Kentucky, southern Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, you may get a dusting if that, but it's going to melt with the rain. We will have a better chance at seeing wintry weather as we head into early next week. And then as we head towards the northeast, timing not quite yet out on the model runs for this yet, but we'll talk about that here in the long range. Now, going ahead and looking at our long range models, we're going to start out with a late afternoon lunchtime run here of the Euro, because it does a little bit better with handling what next week's going to look like as well. But we'll go ahead and play this out here starting with today. Like I said, here comes our big winter storm, mostly rain for western and central Missouri down towards eastern Kansas, Oklahoma. We're not going to see those cold temperatures that far south, but once again, mostly an all snow event here for the Ohio Valley, the Midwest, and getting into the high plains and northeast. By Sunday, the system is moving its way east here with mostly light rain and some freezing drizzle across portions of PA, maybe some snowflakes falling across northern PA, northern portions of New York, some back end northwesterly flowing snow maybe across northern Indiana, Michigan here as we head towards Sunday. And then that system's going to clear out. That cold air is still going to hang around. It's still going to be in place. And then welcome to our second system that's going to be basically deepening off the Rockies here, moving across the central plains. By Monday afternoon, we've got moisture surging here out of the Gulf, meeting cold air. What is that typically going to do? One, it's going to set up a significant rain event back down here into the southeast. And two, we are going to have some ice to worry about here in the mid-Atlantic. And three, there will be snow somewhere here from Kentucky back up into the lower Ohio Valley. So if you're not getting snow on this first go around, you may get some snow on the second go around. And what that looks like here going into Monday and Tuesday, the Euro handles it just a lot better here. Cold air by Monday morning going into Monday night, and then eventually by Tuesday morning here. Like I said, a pretty big rainfall event for the southeast. We'll talk about those flooding potential totals here in just a moment, with some ice accretion accumulating here, anywhere from a tenth of an inch maybe to a half an inch of ice in some areas here across northern Virginia, getting up towards southern PA and the mid-Appalachian mountain regions there. And then this looks to be, as of right now, both the GFS and the Euro really starting to consolidate here. A decent snow event for most of Kentucky here, western and central Kentucky, southern Illinois, southern Indiana, and Ohio. We're going to have to watch out for some heavy snowfall. About 3 to 5 inches of snow right now is kind of what I'm seeing with this. Going to move through pretty quickly. It's not going to hang around too long. Looks to be about a 12-hour snow event. So if we can get some heavier bands to set up here across those areas along the Ohio River Valley, it may help with some snow accumulation a little bit quicker. And then eventually, this low is going to deepen as it moves off the East Coast. And this is where things get really, really tricky with Tuesday afternoon. Where is the position of this low? Is it further to the south? Is it further to the north? That makes a big difference on how far that snow, rain, sleet line is at here in the northeast. It looks to be right now most of PA and western Virginia and eastern Ohio is going to see accumulating snowfall, but how far south does that snow go? Does it go to Boston? Does it go to DC? Right now it's showing you guys as mostly rain with this event, but if we get the low to shift or develop somewhere a little bit different or move somewhere different, we may see that snow line move north or move south, and that's very, very important forecasting, and we're going to get into more of that as we get into the weekend and get closer to this event. Eventually, the system moves out by next Wednesday. We clear things out, and then here comes our big polar Arctic plunge, round like 2 or 3, I think, at this point, late next week here with high pressure dominating, but then another clipper system with more snow across the Ohio Valley. So if you want snowfall, the Ohio Valley is the place to go. The Great Lakes is the place to go. The Midwest and the Northeast is the place to go. If you're anywhere down here right now, we're not going to be seeing that. It's going to be mostly warm, keeping our polar vortex kind of hanging around down here. And that's what we talked about a long time ago, guys, a couple weeks ago, talking about our La Nina setup. This is where we typically see most of the snow events set up at. And we haven't had any really big snowfall events in these areas in a little bit of time. So we're definitely going to make up for that loss of snow that we've had in the last couple of months, last couple of years. So Definitely a thing to be watching for. I am also watching for a little severe weather event potentially as we head towards the second week of November, or second week of December down here towards the southeast. We'll talk more about that in the future. But then once again, the Euro also showing another, like this is like the fourth or fifth winter storm potentially as we head towards the second week of December. So lots of time on the way here. And you can see now we're in, kind of la la land at this point, but lots of time for major, major winter storms. And I'm telling you guys, we're going to get a lot of snow in the Ohio Valley in the Northeast if these setups keep happening here, so I can't get my words out today. But we are in a phase 8 MJO that's basically just allowing lots of cold air to continue to signal down here into the eastern and central half of the United States. And once again, if you like snowfall, it's definitely going to be a big time event here. I will show you guys some brief totals here just before we wrap this video up here on kind of my thoughts on going into early next week. Here's our guaranteed snowfall across the Midwest for this weekend's event starting today, and then like I said, going into next week, a little bit of uncertainty, but it looks like a decent amount of snowfall here across the Ohio Valley, Kentucky, into the Mid-Atlantic here in the Northeast. Timing and what that snowfall ratio is going to look like, we'll know more here in the next couple of days. So other than that, guys, we'll have a live stream here very, very soon. I appreciate y'all for watching. As always, stay safe out there. If you have not subscribed, do hit that sub button, as well as turn on those bell notification icons so you can get alerts when we go live and post videos. And we'll see everybody as well in the live stream and in tomorrow's video. Stay safe, y'all.